Valentine's ISF Snowboard World Pro Tour presents the Mount Hood Meadows Wide Open Challenge. The ISF is constantly striving to elevate the world of competitive snowboarding to new heights and is now recognized in over 25 countries on 3 continents. The ISF point system allows for amateurs as well as professional competitors to collect points from competitions held worldwide. Today, the Valentine's ISF Snowboard World Tour comes to the USA's Pacific Northwest state of Oregon for the first North American stop on the 94 Tour. Here under the ominous shadow of Mount Hood, 67 miles from Portland, Oregon, lies the largest day ski resort in the USA, Mount Hood Meadows Ski Resort. Boasting an average of over 300 inches of snow annually, skiers have been enjoying the 2,000-plus acres for years, and now snowboarders are finding this the place to let loose.
Right now, snowboarding is the fastest growing segment of the ski business, and I think you'll see a reflection of that here today. We like snowboarding. We think it's a great part of our sport. It's going to continue to be part of our sport, and I hope this is the second annual of many more of these kinds of events to come. This is really a skier's mountain, whether you're on alpine skis or on snowboards. Snowboarders love this because of the variety of natural terrain we have here. We've got terrain that'll challenge virtually any set of knees that wants to come on this mountain, all the way from the easiest to Heather Canyon, which is probably could be classified as the best double black diamond in the Northwest. And the area itself is 2,000 acres. We have 77 runs. We've got 9 lifts. We just put in a new high-speed detachable quad chairlift on the upper part of our mountain this year called Cascade Express. We're going to put another one in next year out of the bottom area. So we're real excited about that.
And rightfully so. For the first Super G of 94 in the U.S., the competition will be held on the Middle Fork Run just off the Jacobs Ladder lift. This particular run is no stranger to world-class alpine competition. Middle Fork combines all the features that make up the best and most dramatic of Super G races. Mount Hood Meadows' dedication to snowboarders is witnessed by their beautiful halfpipe. But on the day of competition, the temperatures warmed up and the snow became slushy. Speed became a problem, and big air maneuvers were difficult to perform, making the competition even tighter than normal. With the Super G about to begin, let's take an up-close look at the competitors. First up, Mike Jacoby, who calls Hood River home. Windsurfing in the summers, Jacoby's here to defend the Super G title he won last year. Shannon Melhuse is from Salem, Oregon, and is no stranger to World Pro Tour competition, having won last year's Mount St. Anne Open in Quebec. Mark Fawcett, also from Hood River, is another keen windsurfer who also revels in other high-action sports such as mountain biking and rock climbing. And Nelson Jensen is out of Abbotsford, Canada, and a powerful rider who's made an impact on the U.S. Tour, finishing 3rd in giant slalom at the U.S. National. Michelle Taggart is one of the strongest all-around competitors on the circuit. In 1993, she won the overall title at the World Championships and a 2nd place on the ISF World Pro Tour. Tara Masterpool from Reno, Nevada, finished 3rd in GS last year on both the ISF World Pro Tour and at the ISH CGL World Championships. Stacia Hookham is a young and aspiring competitor, already showing her potential by taking 2nd place at this year's Amateur World Championships. Jennifer Shirowski from Edwards, Colorado, was the top-placed amateur in the Sugarloaf Open in Maine last year and could turn out to be a real threat to the pros here. As we begin, Michelle Taggart is already on course, riding a smooth fast track and carving a near-perfect line around the roundhouse turn. Michelle's a powerful rider who likes keeping a low profile through the turns and the flat sections. She scrubs a little speed as she approaches the knoll, causing her to get light on her board, losing her critical edge and valuable momentum. She passes the finish line with a time of 1:44.45. Next on course is Kim Martin from Truckee, California. Kim is riding a more conservative line than Michelle, keeping a flatter board and not stretching out in the carved turns. She held her speed through the flats, making a sweet transition over the knoll, and Kim finishes with a time of 1:35.65, placing her in first place at the moment. From Edwards, Colorado, Stacia Hookham is having a blazing run as she holds a tight curve through the roundhouse leading into the flats. Stacia had a little trouble having to make a double turn before heading off the knoll and got sideways after the knoll. Seconds ticked away before she was able to complete the run with a time of 1:33.44, placing her on top of the women. As we watch Tara Masterpool getting a little air entering the tough roundhouse turn, Tara ripped up the turn, carries an incredible amount of speed through the flats. Unlike the other girls, Tara did not scrub any speed through the flat, carving a beautiful turn and making the knoll transition look easy. She finishes with a time of 1:32.82, taking over the lead. Also from Edwards, Colorado, Jennifer Shirowski approaches the roundhouse turn. After carving an easy line through the turn, Jennifer has a few problems with the transition in the flats. She's a strong rider and tightens up through the flat and over the knoll. Finishing with a solid run and a time of 1:36.31. Jennifer Shirowski finds herself in fifth place. As we look at the spectators, they anxiously await the men's Super G competition. Up first is Jeremy Jones from Stowe, Vermont. Jeremy prefers the technical events of slalom and giant slalom, but today he appears to be a speed specialist as he carves beautiful turns through the flats.
Tom Hoke, how's that shot working? How's it working?
Speed got the better of Jeremy as he skids out over the knoll and almost comes to a complete stop before finishing with a disappointing 1:26.19. Flying into the roundhouse turn is the local favorite, Mike Jacoby. Mike carves a sweet line through the roundhouse turn before leaning in a little too far, skidding into the fence.
Yes, we do. He just went down on who.
Jacoby lost valuable time digging himself out of the hole and returning to the course. He smokes through the finish with a time of 1:32.32. Let's take a slow motion look at Mike's crash. And as Mike Jacoby contemplates what happened during the fall, John Percy is on course. John likes Super G and has little trouble negotiating through the roundhouse turn and through the transition to the flats. The ruts appear to be growing, which causes John to have some problems on the steep section after the knoll. He finishes with a time of 1:25.21 to take over the lead from Jeremy Jones.
Next rider on the course is Shannon Melhuse. Number 9, Shannon Melhuse, rider for Team Rosignol.
Picks up on mine.
You mean?
I got my tennis stick.
Next on course from Salem, Oregon is Shannon Melhuse. Negotiating the ruts through the roundhouse turn, choosing the tight inside line, Shannon has no problems through the flats as he approaches the knoll. Melhuse rode a quiet line over the knoll and down the steeps to finish with a time of 1:24.36, taking over the lead from John Percy.
Mike Kilbell, running for Team Liquid.
Flying over the little rise prior to the roundhouse turn is Ogden, Utah's Jeff Archibald. Jeff's an all-around rider whose experience in the ruts proved beneficial today as he screams across the flats toward the knoll.
No, we're doing okay right now.
Jeff's speed proved to be a little too much for him as he skids out on the steeps and slid through the finish line with a time of 1:25.28. Let's watch as Canada's Nelson Jensen rips through the roundhouse turn. Nelson didn't let the bumps and ruts throw him in the flats as he approaches the knoll with a deceptive speed. Jensen's smooth style allows him to finish the course in a tuck with a time of 1:24.60, giving him a lock on second place. Taking a look at the women's winners, we find Tara Masterpool securing the women's top honor, winning $2,448. In second place is Stacy Hookham, winning $1,224. Coming from deep in the second seed to capture third place, winning $612, is Rosie Fletcher from Vail, Colorado. Kim Martin from Team Nitro and Jennifer Shirowski round out the top 5 women in this year's Wide Open Challenge. For the men, receiving the top prize of $3,564 is Oregon's own Shannon Melhuse, capturing a check of $2,376, and the second place title is Nelson Jensen from Abbotsford, Canada. In third place, John Percy receiving a check of $1,188. Jeff Archibald and Jeremy Jones finished 4th and 5th, respectively. This wraps up the Super G competition from the second annual Wide Open Challenge at Mount Hood Meadows. You've got to see JSP's inside track of extreme steeps and leaps. It's JSP's Screamin' Videotape Series. JSP's Extreme Scream Volume 1 includes highlights of the newest and hottest skiing competitions to hit the ski world, the U.S. and World Extreme Skiing Championships. You'll meet the skiers up close and radical. You'll live life on the edge with these competitors as they push the adrenaline envelope. There's only one way down, their way. And you can catch all the action right here by calling JSP at 1-800-721-6120 to order JSP's Extreme Scream Volume 1, available now. Also available, the 92 and 93 U.S. and World Extreme Skiing Championships. These are the official TV productions of these prestigious ski events and are available now for home viewing for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Order all 5 videos and receive 1 free. To order your copies of JSP's Screamin' Extreme Skiing Series and Volume 1 of Extreme Scream, call JSP now. 1-800-721-6120. Visa and MasterCard accepted.
This is my world, Jacoby world. My world is Jacoby world. The dreams, I think, were to be able to play and, you know, and do everything. I mean, so many things appeal to me. It's a variety of everything that I just remembered how I always wanted to do. I think at the time I was like, you know, young, wanted to, you know, go windsurfing. Winter came around, and you're jonesing to sail, and I quit playing hockey. You know, everything. All I wanted to do was just go windsurfing. Tried to sail my windsurfer down the street full of snow. It just didn't work. And somehow I got into snowboarding. And then it was like I had to do that all the time. And so I just go up and go snowboarding every day after school and spend my weekends up there snowboarding. And things just got good and took off and decided to compete and I had fun. You know, I got like a 5th place or whatever, you know, but I had a real good time and I went back out and I just go snowboarding, you know, just have fun. And eventually, you know, I won the Amateur World Championships at Breckenridge, you know, won the slalom and the GS, didn't do very well in the halfpipe, so that summer I was like, I'm going to do better in the halfpipe next year, and turned around and went to, took gymnastics, learned to skateboard, did a bunch of other things to get better, and that summer Burton approached me, and you know, started riding for them, and next thing I knew, I was doing awesome in the halfpipe, and things evolved and got into racing, and you know, my goal was just to do the best I could, and as I think as I surprised myself by being third in the world in the halfpipe that year, you know, my goal is to be a world champion. I feel like my goals came to me a lot quicker than what I was ready for. Just all of a sudden, it seemed like I was a world champion and decided to do it again. And I didn't really set myself any new goals, just wanted to enjoy what I was doing and, you know, kind of enjoy what I've worked so hard for all the time, rather than just being so focused and stuck in my pit of, you know, winning competitions and just being, you know, the baddest snowboarder I can be. I know what I've done in snowboarding, I know how I've been respected, but I don't see myself as I see myself as a normal person. I think most people that meet me and that talk to me and, you know, just find out who I am, realize I'm just like anyone else. You know, I got feelings, I get homesick, I am an adrenaline junkie, and I just, you know, I like hanging out with people and having a, you know, good time. And when I get in a race course, I'm not racing the other person. I'm racing myself. When I go snowboarding, I'm having a good time. Life's too short. You know, I think when it comes at the end, snowboarding's going to be a 10, 15-year period of my life. Hope I live a lot longer than that.
I wasn't made for TV. People bum my ass.
With the weather less than cooperative, let's meet the snowboard competitors. Jimmy Scott is the reigning ISF World Pro Tour halfpipe champion, narrowly missing out on the World Championship title in '93. Keith Duckboy Wallace from Spokane, Washington is one of the most familiar faces in the free-riding halfpipe world and could easily create an upset here and win. Mike Basich is out of Fair Oaks, California, and was 4th overall in the halfpipe on the ISF World Pro Tour. He'll be firing on all cylinders today. Jason Evans is a veritable newcomer into the pro ranks. The competition is fierce here, so he'll have to pull out all the stops to place in the top 3. Shannon Dunn from Steamboat Springs, Colorado was 2nd on both the World Pro Tour and World Championships. 3 years as a pro and a background in surfing make her a force to be reckoned with. With halfpipe being her strongest discipline, Michelle Taggart is tipped as one of the only girls to have the talent to take a win away from Dunn. Riding for Burton Snowboards, Kara Beth Burnside learned her halfpipe trick riding from years of skateboarding competition. For the halfpipe competition here at Mount Hood Meadows, the governing body has made the decision to implement some new judging guidelines. Here with a competitor's view of these changes is Keith Wallace.
Well, today the judges are working on a new judging format. It's only been out just this season, and it's going to work on, each judge is going to have his own actual category that he's judging. And one judge will be judging on amplitude and level of excitement in your run. Another judge will be judging just on takeoffs and landings. One judge will be working on rotational tricks, and one judge will just be working on overall airs and an overall impression of the whole thing. And I think it's really going to help out because I think the judges will be able to concentrate more on exactly what they need to look at instead of one overall impression for the whole day. So I think it could really help.
It's minutes before the finals of the halfpipe competition at the Special Export Wide Open Special. And as the spectators cheer on the competitors, let's listen to the live action as it's called by competitor Chris Engelsman.
Shannon Dunn in the pipe. Riding for Sims on our new pro model. Riding off the Rolac deck. Dropping in with a nice little backside grab. A backside air. Looking good, smooth. Frontside melon. Across the flat bottom to another backside air. Alley-oop 360 on the front side wall, spinning around. Tail plant 360. With another spin around 540. That's Shannon Dunn. Doing a little disco in. Dropping in. The backside air. To another front side air. Shifting it around a little. Getting some speed on the roll up. Coming across the flat bottom. That's a air to fakie. Front side. Carabeth Burnside looking really good here. Alley-oop 360. Looking for some speed. Switch stance front side. Solid run. Jumps across that finish line. It's Carabeth Burnside. Jenna Mine waiting for the call to enter the pipe for the final run. Dropping in. Getting some speed up for the front side air. Mute stiffy there. Across the flat bottom. To a nice backside melon poke. To the front side roll out. Switch around. Coming up fakie. Yeah, throwing the fakie, 540. Reverting the flat bottom. To the front side melon. Jenna Mine looking especially good. With the backside Indy. Spin around 360. To finale, air to fakie. Yes, it's Jenna Mine. Throwing it all off. 360. Just look at her face. In the pipe. Half cabinet to the full cab. Slide around. Frontside melon 360. K twist. Frontside melon to fakie. Stuck boy. El Gario. Boning out the nose. Frontside 540. Styling it up. Backside melon. Working it here. Yeah. Layback air. To another backside implant. Looking very enthused for that last run there. Jimmy Scott dropped into the pipe also from Snowmass, Colorado. Strong contingency from that area with 3 of the people at the top. Nice. Front side lean. To the backside Indy. To the front side 540 melon grab. To the Andrax. He's pulling off all the tricks. To the 360. Yes, with the stale 360 in there. Air to fakie. Working this pipe for all it's worth. Jimmy Scott, the switch stance right there. Looking good. Yes, and El Gario out of nowhere. Putting the #1 sign in the air. Will he take it all? Wait and see. Sean Johnson waiting for the final run here. Waiting to see what will happen. Going to the rollout deck with lots of speed. Looking for the big air there on the first hit. What will he do? Big backside 540 with an Indy crab. Very fresh. Front side air to disaster revert. Looking good there. With a Sean Johnson with the front side melon to lean. The backside tail grab. Sean pulling off all the tricks riding really well today. Air to fakie. Yes. Sean Johnson pulling one off at the bottom there for Mom. That should take the trick right there. Definitely a classic maneuver. Then El Gario thrown in there on the kink cart. Doing the 360 to the front side air. Off the highway to the backside Indy. Working the air. To the 540. To the front side 360, Jason Evans, looking especially good. El Gario there at the bottom, off the kink. We got a man running down the middle of the pipe. What's he doing? As Jason Evans throws the alley-oop 360, the switch stance mute grab there. Doing the disco nose ride switcheroo, Jason Evans.
Well, that completes the half-pipe competition, and with the spectators cheering him on, Jason Evans accepts the first place award of $3,564. The final results of the men's competition shows that Sean Johnson took second place, winning $2,376. Jim Scott finishes in third, receiving a check for $1,188. Keith Wallace and Lael Gregory round out the top 5. The women's competition ended with Jana Meyer capturing the gold, along with a check for $2,448. Cara Beth Burnside finishes in second place, narrowly beating out Shannon Dunn for third and Tina Basic for fourth. And as we take one last look at Mount Hood, we bring to a close the second annual Special Export Wide Open Challenge. The ISF would like to thank the Mount Hood Meadows race crew for organizing a quality race. And we hope to see you soon on the Ballantyne's ISF World Pro Tour.